What's up, folks? Welcome back to Beyblader Burst. I'm your host, Michael Nightwing, and today we are talking about the most pathetic Beyblader to ever exist. And guess what? It's not Iger Akabane. Now, before we get started, I want to make this very clear. This is 100% my personal opinion and also the opinion of the internet, because this character is by far the weakest Beyblader to ever exist, and their Beyblade was also terrible.
Who's that Pokemon?
But with that being said, let's break it down. So we're gonna be talking about Mazuhari Max, or Max Tate. He is the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, half Japanese, half American character from Plastic Generation. Now, with that being said, he was awful as a Beyblader. So let's break it down why I believe he was the worst character in comparison to all the other characters, and also possessed the worst Beyblade with all the other Beyblades that exist. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be an adventure, and if you disagree, comment below and let me know who you think the worst really is. So first and foremost, let's talk about Max Tate himself. He, himself, great kid. Very kind, very loving, very gentle, but overall, the weakest Beyblader of the original four Beybladers, the Blade Breakers. He had a bit beast by the name of Draciel. Draciel was a sacred bit beast, apparently the weakest of the four. Draciel was given to Max by his grandmother.
Max has found a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
He unlocked Draciel in his battle with Kai, where he still got dogged.
Any pieces?
No way! Grandma's pendant.
But he unlocked Draciel, which is fantastic. Another thing about Max and Draciel is that Max was such a weak blader that he lost Draciel twice, maybe even 3 times, but I know for sure it was 2. You may be wondering, how did you lose Draciel? Did he lose his Beyblade? No, he lost the actual beast inside the Beyblade.
Leave Draciel alone! Don't take him away from me!
Terrible, terrible blader. Okay, so he was bad at that. He was bad at protecting his bit beast. He was bad at winning. And he was overall considered the weakest member of the Blade Breakers. It went Max, Ray, Kai, Tyson. That was always the case. But again, he was a sweet kid, and you just loved to hear him cheer people on and say nice things. But he was just a bad blader. Then when it comes to his Beyblade, Draciel, not the bit beast, but the actual blade itself, the design was awful. It was a defensive type Beyblade, but nothing about it said defense. It just said, hurt me more. I have a few of them here, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the shape on Draciel was never good. It was always spiky and bitey, and once they tried kinda round. But for a defensive type Beyblade, it couldn't defend to save its life. Now, it did have some really cool gimmicks though. It had the ball bearings, which were really cool to help, distribute weight, but it didn't really work because the Beyblade's not big enough to do it. And then it had the one here where you can kind of tilt the ball bearings in and out. But honestly, that was also bad because you gave up LAD for a little bit of extra spin. It was okay. Now, the engine gear version of Draciel was actually pretty solid. It stood up very well, especially when the engine kicked in. But the weight distribution, again, was just awful. And then we get to the HMS version, which just stood no chance of ever beating anybody. The shape was awful, it had no attack. And again, it's a defensive type, but it couldn't even defend, and it couldn't even attack. It just wasn't good at all. So at this point, you may be thinking to yourself, well, there's so many other Beybladers out there that are bad, like Iger Akabane. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But you also may be saying, there's so many Beyblades that are also bad. Okay, also very fair. When I thought about this and Max came to the answer, it wasn't just Max that was bad, it was also his Beyblade, right? And this Beyblade went through so many different evolutions, and every single one was bad. I did think about the Roktavor line from Beyblade Burst. It was pretty awful, but the one saving grace to that one was it had different owners over the generations. So first it started with the big brother, then the little brother, and then the cousin. So I can't really say collectively the Beyblade was bad. It's just each person could have been bad. Or collectively, that the Bladers were bad because maybe the Beyblade was bad. So I can't really say that. But what I can say about Max is that no matter what he had, whatever Beyblade he possessed, he was always bottom tier. And it sucks to say that because I thought Max was such a cool kid, so nice, so kind, but he just wasn't good at all. So for me, these are my reasons why I believe Max is the worst Beyblade character to ever exist. But I say all that to say, if you or someone you love knows a different answer to my question, a different answer to my conundrum, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful and amazing day. Oh, I forgot to say, do me a solid favor. Subscribe to the channel. I like this video. And if you can, go home and tell your dad you love him. See ya.